Why are you eating oil?
Oil? Are you nuts? I'm eating fruit and nuts ice cream.
No, all I see is oil over here.
Well, don't you see milk in it? It's ice cream.
No, all it contains is oil. Well, are you also thinking that this is an ice cream? Well, let me tell you clearly, it's not. All it contains is oil. And many ice cream companies have been fooling you by telling that this is an ice cream. And we'll be telling you all the details further in this video. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Shivang.
And I'm Dr. Kanika.
And welcome back to Doctor Duo.
And another episode of
Doctor Strange.
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then, the nightmare begins.
Well, to be classified as an ice cream, the dessert should have milk or some of the dairy product of at least 10 to 20%.
And the other ice creams which we supposedly say that they are ice creams, but they're actually not. They are frozen desserts. Yes, you heard it right, frozen desserts. And now how does it make a difference? Frozen desserts are not actually made from the dairy products, but instead they are made up of vegetable oils and a lot of other processed items like maida or sugar and a lot of artificial sweeteners along with gum, raisins.
Flour, जो unhealthy वाला मैदा होता है पूरा.
Right.
Also, many of the frozen desserts are made from vanaspati oil. Well, we all know that vanaspati is very harmful and it is a very cheap substitute to butter and ghee. Vanaspati is basically hydrogenated vegetable oil and it's basically very harmful for your health.
So now, due to these reasons, the company doesn't want to label it as ice cream or frozen dessert. So that is why we are actually confused, or even a lot of us even don't know that whether we are eating ice cream or frozen dessert. Talking about the health aspect, which is at most important whenever you choose eating something. Now, when we come to frozen dessert, since it has a lot of vegetable oils and artificial things into it, so it has more quantity of trans fat and saturated fat, which is not good for your health, your heart and other things.
Well, now talking about the price points, let me tell you one thing. The dairy fats cost around 300 rupees per kg, while vegetable fat cost around 60 rupees per kg. You can see the difference between the price of the two fats. But once you buy the ice cream, that is the finished product, you'll get the same price point for both the ice cream as well as the frozen dessert. Although the making charge for these both is so different, but consumer is again fooled into paying the same amount for those products.
So it's about the profit of the company which makes them sell frozen dessert over the real dairy ice cream. So because of all these reasons, court came up with this decision that everyone has to write and mention on their products whether it is a frozen dessert and what amount, what percentage of oil they are using into it. But obviously companies are companies, they find out their own ways. Instead of making a full long caution box, they just write it somewhere in a very small manner where a lot of people do not come to know. But if I talk about the ice cream which I was eating, yes, here it is very well mentioned that it is a frozen dessert which is made up of 10.2% edible vegetable oil. So yeah.
And one more thing, if you just leave this frozen dessert outside for 2 to 3 days, you can actually see that all that, that milky feel that it gives it go away, and you'll actually see the oil separated from the rest of the part. So I have tried it myself, I think years back, and that is when I came to know about this thing. Another thing, years back, a company called Amul they had basically faced a petition against another company who was making frozen desserts because they had very well advertised this thing. In one of the ads, they had mentioned, don't eat oils, rather eat milk ice creams. Well, I would say they were completely right because a company takes a lot of efforts to build up that reputation and build up a product called as ice cream. Now, if another company misuses it and sells another thing which is actually bad for the consumer also under the name of ice cream, well, I think this is very wrong.
So yeah, now you're smart enough. Now you know that you're not having ice cream, but you were having frozen dessert till now. So be sure of whatever you are having. It's not about not to have frozen dessert. It is just about now you have to be more cautious about the quantity you are having of a frozen dessert.
Especially when you're feeding your children, you should know what to give them.
So yeah, this is it for today's video. We hope that we just busted one more myth in your life. If you still have more, comment down so that we can make a new video on that too. But till then, do not forget to subscribe and share our video, and let's make the biggest medical community ever. Till then, bye-bye.
Bye guys.